morning and welcome back to another video. And welcome to the last video of this year. And in this video, as you saw already in the past one, we left off without electricity. So we're gonna get started by that side, putting up the plasterboard so we can put all the electrical back on so we can have electricity so we can see better that corner. Yeah, let's get started. Let's put up that plasterboard and finish up that wall, and with it, finish this project more or less for this year. So let's get started. Here.
First piece is on, and one thing I want to explain before everyone rushes to the comments and says I'm putting it the wrong way around. I'm specifically putting the waterproof side on the inside of the wall because that's where you're going to be more likely to create moisture. We're not putting tiles in here, we're not having a shower in here, so we don't need the waterproofing on this side. We'd rather have it on the wall side in case there is some moisture. The blue on it is specifically moisture resistant, doesn't create mold, doesn't destroy the plasterboard like a normal plasterboard. That's specifically why it is in blue color. It is the waterproof variant that you put in bathrooms and damp areas. But yeah, let's keep going. So yeah, since I explained that. But this was the hardest part with the cables. The rest, besides the window, I think is pretty easy, so.
Plus the beam.
The beams will be quite the nightmare, yeah.
Okay, let's get our electricity back.
Oh yeah, let's put the electricity.
So all it was, the noise as you heard, was like this little plastic was bent inwards.
In the fan, yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
We should change those fans though.
Into silent ones?
Yeah. 111. So we have the next day, and before we continue, yesterday we uploaded a video regarding the installation, and we straight away went on with plasterboards. The question that I got, the only unsure thing, was the vapor barrier. Some of you suggested to put it on, and some of you said it's not gonna work without it. This thing has been bothering me for actually like 2 years now, since I actually wanted to insulate those walls. And yes, I did a deep research specifically on lime mortar brick walls, which is a lot different than modern materials. You have to remember that these walls are not the same as new houses, and we don't have the same structure here as a new house. We can't seal it fully because this is not going to be sealed, the roof is not sealed, the bottom is not sealed. There's a lot of places where the vapor will get around it. So putting just a vapor sheet in front is going to do nothing. It's just going to create actual spots. With the water is going to actually create, because it's a lot of air is going to be going through specific spots like here. So the research I found is that more people were leaning towards in restoration business, not specifically building new houses, where people are restoring old houses. They're leaning more towards using open air insulation, so insulation that ventilates, such as rock wool. Definitely no plastics, definitely no foam, definitely no those things. They don't support those overall. Best is hempcrete, of course. Hempcrete would be the best because also it's sealed. Using lime, you're pretty much just putting a giant layer of plaster in theory. But in this sense it will work as well, and they recommended to leave it open because then it gets to dry, because these walls need air circulation. They will produce moisture, and the lime will start falling apart, and you don't want that. So instead of using normal plaster, they recommend to use also lime plaster on the holes here, so they breathe as well. I don't know, it's just a giant discussion, and I don't think it's gonna work better if I put a plastic sheet. I feel like I've done that on top here, and I've seen some spots that actually create moisture more than it would when it's ventilating. So yeah, and they were caused because of lack of insulation. Of course, I put insulation, then it goes away. So I don't think it's gonna work so best here. So we will try it for a month, and end of January, I'm not gonna put plastering over screws and cover it and do it perfectly. I'm gonna remove one of the sheets. I'm gonna put only a few screws, the end one, and I'm gonna remove it, remove the insulation, and check how much moisture has built up, because it takes literally just a month to build up the moisture. So I think a month will be enough to tell us, is it gonna get wet, and if it's dry, then we're fine to move on and close it and be done with it. The other thing I want to mention is our neighbors. Actually 20 years ago, 15-20 years ago, something like that, they have insulated exactly like this, but the whole house, so all the walls, and they have no problems. In 20 years they have absolutely no problems. They just simply made a frame, put mineral wool, and just put on plasterboard, and done, and they have absolutely no problems. They didn't use plastic, so they just slapped on plasterboard, and there's no moisture problems. Their walls are doing perfectly fine. So yeah, let's move on, put the last plasterboards, and yeah, we'll experiment and see how it goes. We have to learn how to adapt the new materials with the old houses. It's not just simple as following the standards of building new houses. And modern building is not exactly the best building either.
other way.
No, I did it with my magic.
You literally have gloves. What are you doing? You have gloves for that.
It's just wool. I do barber all the time.
Thank you. So we have finished the last project of this year, but of course it's not done. We still have to do like more or less the beauty part all around and on the corners. But as we said, we are not gonna work on it for another month, so we're gonna leave that aside for a month. We're gonna take off a piece, see if there's moisture behind, and then we're gonna get to spachtelling, painting, putting cupboards, cabinets, everything here. One reason, as I said, is because we're gonna check the moisture, but we're getting again -14 in the night. So we do want to insulate the other wall, which we were thinking to do it with hempcrete. We're gonna make our research in that and see if we want to do it or not. Plus we have to do the door. So yeah, that is now all sealed or nice, so we have to move on some other projects. Plus we want to do this wall so we can hang up our boiler. And we could already probably start by bringing washing machine in here, our other freezer, either put it here downstairs. So we do have a lot of work to do on that side of the wall. But for now, this one is done. Plus the ceiling is gonna get replaced. We're not gonna keep that once we do the upstairs. But for now, it's working, it's fine. We're gonna get to that once we do the upstairs floor. So yeah, a lot more work that needs to be done. But we're getting there step by step. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And we're gonna see you next year. I like that saying so much, next year, even though it's tomorrow. Hope you enjoy.
Looks nice.
Yeah.